If you were looking for any games or game codes at a discount, head on over to G2A.com. I am sponsored by them, and if you use my link in the description, you will get a discount and also help me out. Check out G2A.com. All right, guys, let's have it. Let's have the, as we used to call in the business world, the courageous conversation and talk about weapon and armor sunsetting. Well, I'm mainly going to focus on weapon sunsetting. What's up, guys? My name is Mesa Sean, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. All right, I have a couple of goals in mind for this video. Let's revisit exactly what Bungie has planned for weapon sunsetting, and then discuss because, oh man, my comment section from Thursday night's video and Friday's Zerv video, safe to say, a lot of folks are very upset. There's a lot of folks that may not understand it, weapon sunsetting and armor sunsetting. And yeah, people seem very, very heated. So let's have a comfortable discussion in the comment section after we go through this again. And I will share my opinion at the end on actually how I think this is a good thing. Yes, I'm putting on my Mesa shill hat on, so go at it. Have at me in the comment section. All right, guys, if you enjoy this video, hit that like button, but more importantly, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, I want to earn you a subscription, and you guys have been crushing it. I always show this number, but we've reduced it. It used to be 62% of you guys who watch my videos are not subscribed, and now we're lowering the gap, and it's 59.8%. So you guys are crushing it, and welcome all of the new folks. All right, let's get into it. First, I have a question that I want you to answer in the comment section. Are you bored with using the same weapons over and over and over? Put that in the comment section right now. Are you bored with it? Are you using the same weapons in PvP? Are you using the same weapons in PvE? Does that get boring? Yes, it does. I know I certainly am, because what do? I use Outbreak Perfected for everything. I know I get made fun of all the time. I don't care. I'm on PC, and I still am the only one that uses it. I use the Summoner nonstop. I use Recluse. 21% Delirium. You cannot take that off of my character, and they're all going to be useless next year. Not necessarily. Hold your potatoes, folks. Hold on. Let's read directly from the This Week at Bungie, from the horse's mouth, right? So right now, if a new legendary weapon isn't better than the current best in class, there is no reason to replace your existing weapon with it. Yeah, 100% agree. If a new legendary weapon is better than the current best in class, we risk a power creep, removing challenge from the game or making the item mandatory, the only option for challenging activities. That's 100% true, guys. I mean, every single raid, every single PvP is kind of all over the place. But for PvP, I'm pretty much using, well, the same thing over and over, especially now that I got the Revoker, finally, after so long. And I'm trying to get good at sniping. I'm always going to use the Revoker. And for my energy slot, I'm going to use either the Summoner or, I'll throw in Hard Light because I need that aim assist for my terrible aim. But you get where I'm going here. And I see where Bungie's going here. Bungie's doing a kind of, I'm calling it a soft sunset, right? In Destiny 1, if I recall correctly, we had a hard sunset with the Taken King. Where we pretty much lost everything. I think I'm remembering that correctly. It's been so long. Do you guys remember, like, when you got your Vault of Glass weapons from Vanilla Destiny, and then eventually it was a big pitch, I think for the House of Wolves, that you can infuse things with, I think it was etheric light or something, some sort of consumable, where you could bring up your Fatebringer up to power level. Well, Bungie's doing something sort of like that, but they're going to slowly phase things out based on how many seasons they are apart from each other, which is kind of a good thing. We're going to start seeing these changes of sunsetting in Season 12, meaning this fall with whatever expansion that we have. We'll see some of it in 11, but it's not going to impact us until Season 12. But let me continue with some of their goals here. So powerful weapons can be era-defining, but eventually those eras need to come to an end so that new eras can begin. They continue with, we want strong weapons to have their time in the sun, and whenever possible, we want you to expect and prepare for powerful gear to cycle out of the endgame meta. That's the critical term right there at the end, the end game meta. Because our current weapons, we need to keep this in mind, guys, they're not going away and are not going to be useless just in certain end game activity. They continue with, we can't solve this by just making weapons that are always quote unquote better than the previous ones. This will steadily lower the time to kill in both PvP and PvE until the combat sandbox is neither fun nor tactical. So we're going to get a power cap on legendary weapons that will have a certain time frame to them. Now, this will not apply to exotic weapons or exotic armor. So don't worry about your favorite exotics. You still will be able to increase their power levels. But they say here, each legendary weapon and piece of armor will have a max power level that it can reach through infusion. Well, what is that max power level, and, well, how do we get there? Max power level, I'm predicting probably 1060 for this fall season, and obviously we'll get it through endgame activities and pinnacle stuff and so forth. But they say flat out here, you want to think of this as kind of like the rule of 3 seasons, right? So they say here, the max power level for these items will be set at the player power cap, attainable 3 seasons after its release season. So 4 seasons total. They continue with, this means all legendary gear has a 1-year lifespan during which it can be used in activities where being at or near the player cap is important, meaning difficult or power-enabled activities. That's critical right there. That means end-game content. What it also means is that anything from like year 1 or seasons 1 through 8 or leading up to Shadowkeep, you're not going to be able to infuse that stuff up to the power cap in season 12 and use it in endgame activities, or at least that's how I'm reading it. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, first off, we don't know if they're going to be increasing the power levels of all the activities within a game. That is where I'm saying this could be a big hit or a miss. And I think they're kind of pitching it that, look, not all activities will have a huge power cap in it, meaning like maybe Vanguard strikes or patrols or other things in the game. You could still use all of the old weapons and be fine. But when it comes to things like power-enabled PvP, like Trials, Iron Banner, the Raid, things like that, yeah, we're going to have to find new weapons. So based on what they're saying here with the 3 seasons thing, well, when Season 12 comes out, the fall DLC, anything from Season of the Dawn forward, you'll be able to use and, well, infuse. Now, a personal example, my Summoner, which I absolutely love for PvE and for PvP. I've got 2 different roles, one with Rangefinder and Moving Target, because I need the aim assist. I got it this season, Season 10, and then I can continue to infuse it in Season 11, 12, and then 13, and then after that, then it's power capped. When it's power capped, it's technically sunsetted. So does that mean it's gone? I'm never going to use it? Absolutely not. I could still use it on patrols. I could probably use it in strikes. And of course, since I like it in PvP, I'll use it in regular PvP. However, since it is power capped, I won't want to use it in Iron Banner or Trials of Osiris. So just some more fine print here from Bungie. The max power level for your items will be visible in the game in Season 11. That's the upcoming summer season. But no items will be at their max power level at the start of Season 11. And they say that this means all of your gear will be relevant in all activities during Season 11. And they say that you'll probably see what the max power level is for all of your gear, and you can plan accordingly. Now, I briefly touched on this before, but this is important here. So, at the start of Season 12, that's going to be the fall expansion, weapons and armor released in Seasons 1 through 8 will have a max power level at the Season 11 power cap. So after Season 11, everything from Seasons 1 through 8, well, they're going to be not useful in endgame activities. Gear from Seasons 9, 10, 11, and 12 will be infusible to a new player cap for Year 1 after their release. This is also really important. Weapons and armor from the Last Wish and Garden of Salvation raids will be granted exceptions and will have a higher max power level. So it looks like those raids are not going anywhere, and hopefully with the Season 12 expansion, we'll have a new raid. Now, with some questions that they answered, here's something basic that's pretty important here. Reaching the player cap is beneficial, but not strictly required for most activities within Destiny. You can continue to equip and use all of the gear in these activities. So I'm reading that as saying, yes, we're sunsetting some of your weapons or a lot of your weapons from previous years, but you could still use them in a lot of the core activities within a game, just not endgame stuff, or at least that's what I'm reading into it. Now, pretty much everything applies to armor as well, except they say starting in Season 12, armor will no longer have a seasonal rotating 4th mod slot. Instead, there will be a mod slot that accepts mods introduced into the game throughout a full year. We recognize that the current need to replace your armor every 2 to 3 seasons and hoard armor from past seasons is undesirable. Yes, 100% I agree with that. Now, they are introducing Transmog, and they talked about that last week in the This Week at Bungie, which you'll be able to keep your favorite looks, But, however, how we will do it is a little interesting because they say in last week's This Week at Bungie, you can transmog your armor with either in-game efforts or silver. Okay, that's a fine line right there because what are those in-game efforts? Is it going to be a serious grind to do transmog, or are you going to have to pay for it? Hopefully, you can easily get stuff through the in-game efforts. Will it be a new currency or something? I don't know. Speculate in the comments section. Okay, let me go grab my shill hat on. I've got it on right now. So I'm going to give you my opinion right now. I think this is actually a good thing once I digested it. When I first heard it, I was like, oh boy, this one's not very good. But let me just read this one last statement here. The introduction of max power level will allow us to create exciting new gear more frequently without significant concerns of permanent power creep, which is unsustainable in any game. This also should open up creative and experimental builds season over season, while letting you anticipate and prepare for how the sandbox will change over time. Now, I think it's a good thing because, one, the game gets stale and the game gets boring when we're constantly using the same thing. Now, here's what I think it's going to ride on. Can Bungie, deliver? Can they deliver with creating, I don't know what I was thinking there, and how did I live there? Can they really create interesting new gear, interesting new weapons, interesting new perks? I hope they can deliver. If they can deliver that, I think we're going to be fine. And we still have our old weapons, even though they are quote-unquote sunsetted, to use in just normal activities and not endgame stuff. I think this will force me out of my comfort zone and actually make the game more interesting with using different types of weapons. I know I'm not really focusing on armor here, but let's stick with the weapons here, because weapons, let's face it, that's what makes this game fun, is the gunplay. But I think that this will make it more interesting for myself because I'll be able to, well, experiment with different weapons, different types of builds, and I think it's a good thing. But again, I think it really rides on how creative Bungie can be with creating new weapons, armor, things like that. Let me know in the comments section. Do you have faith that Bungie can deliver on this? I really hope they do. If the rumors are true, and we heard all the leaks already, that, the rumors are that they're bringing Destiny 3 content to Destiny 2 because of the Activision split, yada yada. If so, well, that means it should be a whole new suite of weapons that would have been made for Destiny 3. Well, now they're going to come into Destiny 2, which means hopefully they're completely new looking, new sounding, new perks, new so forth. So, will it backfire? You let me know in the comment section. That's it for the video, guys. Leave me a good old hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end. If you'd like to further support the channel and become a channel member, click the link in the description or click join on screen. We've got an amazing Mesa Army community over on Discord, and the channel members themselves have set up a clan for PC, Xbox, and PS4. Alright guys, that's it. So do me a favor, drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube, and that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir. And how did I do this game? 23-12. Oh, I thought I had a streak in there. No, that must have been a different game. Alright guys, I'm out of here. See ya.